Just smooth for life.
What's good, YouTube? This is your boy 3 coming back with another video from Studio 3, man. Today's video will be the second video on how to build your home studio. The first video was with my man Jay Smooth. He went over picking your room and treating your room with acoustic treatment. We thought that was the most important before you or the first step of building your home studio. So the second step that we think is the most important is choosing the right computer. So a lot of people will face the issue of either going with a desktop or going with a laptop. So it's simple to choosing a desktop or a laptop. So if you're going to be moving around a lot, doing sessions here, producing there, you're on the road a lot, you will want to go with a laptop just for the convenience of traveling. And also the convenience of working in your house. It's small, it's compact. You can throw it in your book bag, go to another studio and work in that studio if you wanted to with your laptop. You can set up a whole session with your laptop there. The downfall to that is with the desktop, it's easier to manipulate your desktop by upgrading things, and it's cheaper to do that. With a laptop, you can upgrade the RAM. It's harder to upgrade the processors, the fans, the motherboard, all that stuff is more difficult to upgrade in a laptop. With a desktop, I can easily open it up. I can replace I can keep the casing of the desktop, replace anything in the desktop that I want easily. Sometimes it's cheaper to build your desktop than just to go buy one. So with the desktop, it's easy to upgrade and have your desktop performing better than it is with your laptop. So if you're choosing between the two, laptop for convenience, desktop if you're just working in the house mostly or looking to upgrade instead of buying a new computer over and over and over, you can easily go on your desktop and do that if you wanted to. So that's the first thing a lot of people will look at when choosing a computer. The second thing you will want to look at is, I have a list right here. The second thing you will want to look at is choosing the processor of that computer. So you have i3, i5, i7. I would never recommend anyone buying an i3 processor because when you're running a lot of files, wave files, you're running VSTs, you're recording, you're trying to work the internet while you're doing your sessions, your computer is going to slow down, it's going to start crackling, it's not going to be able to handle everything that you're throwing at your computer. At the minimum, I will get an i5 processor. But if you have the money, I will definitely go with an i7, nothing less. An i7 processor. It's more powerful. It can handle a lot of things. I actually ran Pro Tools and Fruity Loops at the same time. Normally I don't do that. I ran Pro Tools and Adobe Premiere at the same time. My computer handled it with no issue, so I would recommend getting an i7 processor. Now when you're looking at processors, you also want to look at the number of processors that this computer might have. So you might have a quad core, or you might have more than 4 processors or less than 4 processors. So with this, definitely go at minimum 4 processors. You can dedicate, if you're running Pro Tools, you can dedicate 3 processors. Pro Tools have the other one freed up for your computer so it can handle all the other tasks. If you can get more processors, I will definitely go with more processors. The stronger your computer is, the better your workflow will be. And when you're looking at the number of processors, you also want to look at the speed of the processor. So you might have a 1 point something gigahertz, a 2 point something gigahertz, a 3 point something gigahertz, a 4 something point gigahertz. Obviously, higher the number, the faster the processors. So if you have the money, you will want to go with an i7. You want to go with more processors. You will want to go with faster processors. So that's some of the key points that you will want to look at in choosing your computer. Also, you will want to look at the amount of RAM that you have in your computer. With the RAM, it's easier to get around the RAM because if it only comes with 8 gigabytes of RAM, you can easily go buy some RAM, pop the old RAM out, and upgrade it. If you can get 16 gigs of RAM in your desktop or laptop, that installed in it already, then I would go with 16. If you can get more, then it's better to have more. The RAM, the random access memory, it keeps things running smoothly while you're doing your workflow or while you're doing your sessions. So I would definitely go with more RAM. Also, another thing you would want to look at, you're going to go with an Apple or Windows. And if you're going to go with Windows, you want to look at AMD processors versus Intel Core processors. AMD processors are good, but from my research, they work good with, you know, some programs, or they might work perfect with some programs, but other programs they might crash all the time, give out. It just doesn't cooperate with that program. So I would definitely go with an Intel Core processor over an AMD. And if you're an Apple person, then i7 as well over there. I'm not too big on Apple products. I'm a Windows person. Apple products are not bad. A lot of people recommend Apple products with, you know, your sessions over Windows. It's just a preference thing. The last thing that you might want to look at into that I think is important is the brand of the computer. Some brands outperform other brands. You might like this brand just because of the simple fact that it has this feature over that feature, and it has nothing to do with you running your sessions. It just might make your life easier, you know, just doing everyday tasks. So you want to choose a computer that's good for your workflow, but you also want to choose a computer that's good for other things as well, because most people just don't use a computer just to run sessions. Unless you have a dedicated studio and you have that computer just for that session, then dedicate that computer towards your music, and then you might have another laptop just to do other things. But I use my desktop to do Fruity Loops, Pro Tools, Adobe. I get on the internet. Really don't browse the internet too much just because I don't want a lot of things affecting my computer. So choose the right computer, the right brand that fits you. So with this video, we definitely went over the processor, the number of processors, Intel versus AMD. Then you have your Apple, how fast the processors are, and laptop versus desktop, and the brand of the computer. So I hope this information was useful for you making your decision on you getting a new computer for your music studio. And I gave my recommendations on what I think you should get. Personally, like I said, I have an i7, 4 processors, 3.2 gigahertz. That's how fast they are. I have 16 gigs of RAM. Me personally, I wouldn't recommend a laptop to do certain things with the music session just because of the experience that I had before using a laptop. So yeah, man, this is your boy 3 from Studio 3. My man Smooth will be doing the next video for part 3. So make sure you comment, like, and subscribe. Hit the thumbs up. Comment down below. Tell us what you think. Tell us what type of computer you are choosing to get if you're looking into that. Let us know. Give us feedback on the videos. And make sure you subscribe. Once again, this your boy 3, and I'm out.